Welcome back to the channel. We are going to start building the 474 cubic inch plant for the Surfin' Bird. Now, at this stage, just because I'm keeping it budget and at the power level I'm working, these 6X heads off my original 350 are going to work just fine. Butler did go through them, so they cleaned these. They do not look like the greasy, nasty cylinder heads I sent them at all. But being the smaller chamber 6X heads, these should flow really well and provide a little bit more compression than the original 455 heads that I had. While they were there, they did do a 3-angle valve job, pressed in new valve guides, and I had them cut the seats to take these new style valve seals. These are also Viton, so I paid a couple bucks and went ahead and upgraded those when I ordered gaskets. Before I get into that, I do want to do a little bit of cleanup on these. You do have to be careful when you're doing porting on a cylinder head like this. Taking off the casting flash will actually reduce turbulence, which, as it turns out, actually messes up the flow. And messing with your bowls here, if you're, again, not very careful, you will actually lose power because you are removing material and thereby kind of reducing compression. So all we're going to do to start off is to remove kind of the boogers inside of these. They're original castings, and I did not have them CNC'd or anything nuts, so a couple $100. These look like brand new cylinder heads, and like I said, at the power level and the budget I'm working at, these are going to be awesome. I should be just shy of 10-to-1 compression, which is great for the street, and still more than double the horsepower that I was kind of seeing with the old 350. So I will kind of set up the camera. You guys can watch me do a little booger grinding with this Dremel and a sanding disc. I've also got some other stones and burrs, but this seems to be kind of the best way to carefully massage that down where we want it to be. Let's get into it. Looking inside our cylinder heads, you can kind of see some of those ridges and boogers. We're just trying to remove anything that almost looks like a wall or something that's going to reduce flow. There'll be some random dimples on the walls as well. Seems like the intake valves are generally the worst to have that extra casting flash on it, so all I'm gonna do is just smooth it out a little bit, clean it up with some brake clean, and start installing the new valves and springs. Shouldn't take super long. We'll set up a time lapse and get her going. Just put in a couple minutes with a Dremel and sanding deal and a little carbide burr, but you can see some of the shiny spots in there. I just took off those really bad high spots. The exhaust valves tend to be the worst for some reason, so just wherever possible to try to get those boogers off right next to the new valve guides. There was one spot inside of that intake area, but again, the idea here is just to make them as symmetrical as possible and remove all those big chunks and casting flash. I actually had a couple pieces break off on me while I was doing this, so definitely was not material that needed to be there, and did not want that going through my engine. So now it's looking decent. I could put a little more work in on these, but I'm happy that they're pretty symmetrical. So for now, we need to put on some dual springs. I got this brand new set from Crower, along with a new set of keepers for those, or retainers, and a brand new set of stainless valves. For one thing, putting in brand new guides, kind of stupid to put in used valves. I do plan on putting some miles on this, and it's going to see some abuse, so something that's not going to corrode and really hold up to the extra heat will be nice. And my theory on this is buy once, cry once. So these will perform about as well as any junkyard heads can, and they should last a pretty good long time with the cam I've selected. So I'm going to get on that, press on those new Viton valve seals got here. Those should just slip right on the top of the block, or on the casting. Jeez, can't use my words today. And I'm going to go ahead and skip grinding or kind of lapping all these valves. Since it is a brand new valve job and they're brand new valves, I actually did confirm this with the machine shop. Not necessary. There's not really much I can do that can make this machine surface any nicer or closer than it already is. I got the valves and the job done all at Butler, so their recommendation was to just put it in. It's not really going to make it seal any better to put more micro scratches in there, since that's a perfectly machined surface. So we can just run to the assembly step, wipe it down a little better to make sure there's no excess material lingering in any of my ports here, and have ourselves ahead in a few minutes. Just like that, we have a brand new looking set of cylinder heads. Sure, it looked like magic, but it only takes 1 or 2 minutes to put in each of these valves. You could get some lapping compound in one of these, hand lapping tools, give it an extra spin, but like I said, they're machined, which is better than my hands will ever do, so it's just kind of wasted effort and removing material from a brand new set of valves and a valve job. So I will let those break themselves in. Should work awesome. Did lubricate up all the seals and made sure to hit all these with a hammer, just a dead blow, to make sure that these are seated in the new retainers. These are also chromoly. Those came with the valve springs. Really nice looking pieces here. I'll throw all the part numbers for the valve springs, keepers, the valves, and the link for those Viton seals in the description of the video. It's honestly really affordable stuff. Like I said, I put a couple $100 in these heads. They look brand new. All that's left, I'll shove the freeze plugs in the ends of them, pretty boring, and assemble a short block, slap them on, and paint them. That's all for now, guys. Thank you for watching, and tune in. Next episode, we're going to start getting together the block. I'm going to put in the crank, kind of set everything up. I'll at least check some of the tolerances. We'll kind of go through that. But again, this is all blueprinted, so really not a whole lot of mystery to it. You just follow the instructions they sent, torque it down, and you have an 800 horsepower or better capable long block. So is it useful to you, or you just like following along? Like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Again, special thanks to Crower, Butler Performance. You guys have been awesome to me, so the tech help, everything. I'm just a regular guy figuring out on my own, and if I can do it, anybody can do it. That's the whole point of this build. See you guys again soon.